Hello everyone, my name is ToolSin. Welcome to the CNFT.tools Discord server where we have a great AMA with the famous Wolf Club. So if you guys would like to introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about how you got into NFTs and Cardano in general, and we can go from there.
Hey, hey, Tulsi, thanks for that. And hi, everyone. My name is George. I'm the founder of the famous Wolf Club. And I've been in this space for wow, gee, time flies. When did when did Cardano start the whole staking operation? Was that 2 years ago
Oh,
already?
yeah. I mean that's way before even my time,
Right.
honestly.
So,
But yeah, I think two
so
years is probably about right.
that's about right. Yeah, yeah. So that's when I got interested in the whole space, and that I've been in here since then, and just slowly building up connections and people that we know, and getting into NFTs heavier last year since the whole clay clay nation and all that kind of stuff started to happen in this space, which is was the absolute game changer here, obviously. And yeah, so been in here ever since then, and just getting into big projects like the Clays, like the Kongs, like the Goat Tribe. Obviously, when I'm gonna mention the Goat Tribe because one of the big projects out there. But yeah, that's my history in this.
And Casey,
Yeah, well, I got into Cardano. I think it was fall of 2019, maybe,
damn.
or 2020. No, it must have been fall. Yeah, it's fall of 2019. Um, uh, my brother actually told me about Cardano. It was a few cents at the time, and wasn't into any cryptocurrency. Didn't really have any interest. He and I talked. I remember it was over Thanksgiving, and he and I talked, and he kind of convinced me to buy some. So bought a few thousand and kind of threw a few $1,000s worth, and kind of just held on to it and staked it and watched and bought a few more here and there. And then in when NFTs came out last year, so it would be August of 2021, I guess. I got into the NFTs and got some
It was you.
Cardinos
I
at
was going to
first.
say you around. I mean, Cardano's was May last year.
Yeah, that was my
Yeah.
that was my first one. Yeah,
Oh wow, that's cool.
yeah, yeah. Cardinos was first, and so I got into Cardinos first, and then from there, my next, I don't think I really got anything else at all until Goat Tribe, and then went very heavy into Goat Tribe, and then Kongs, and I've been fortunate to be part of a few projects now, including Secret Goat Society with George, and then he asked me if I wanted to lend a hand with the project he was starting, and I was happy to do so.
Yeah, I mean, I've known at least KC for quite some time at this point. I don't know George quite as well, as I've kind of been on the fringes of Great Tribe and stuff like that and the SGS. But very, very, very successful projects. And yeah, very well worth a look. That being said, um, you're moving forward with the famous Wolf Club now. Um, Obviously, you've got a lot going on with other stuff. Like, how long is it taking you to get from the moment where you thought, right, I'm gonna, we're gonna do this to the point where we're minting fairly soon?
Yes, this story. Well, it's I would well, now we're into the seventh month because this was a December 21 kind of idea, where it was like I'm itching to do something that is a bit more than just a standard NFT. So, and at that time, we had a lot of I would literally say shit NFTs thrown at us in that time period when there was a lot of good stuff and then there was a lot of bad stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was just itching to do something, and then I was experimenting. My background is I've got a web development team here in Australia, and a team in out of Indonesia, which is my own team basically, and so we've got good designers, and we were doing some book development, I should say. Actually, we were doing character designs for books, and then it just hit me that, whoa, we've got the skills, we've got the ability, we've got the technical ability to do something in this space. I just have to transfer my DJ knowledge to my team, and say, look at the kind of crazy stuff that your boss does when you guys are sleeping. Ba- Basically, that's it. Because it's you have to make yourself vulnerable, right? You say,
Yeah.
you're suddenly from a boss to, hey, you want to join me on this journey to do something a little bit different, and so that's kind of where we explored and experimented, and we came up with the famous Wolf Club. We came up with the whole branding and with the idea of trying to do this thing cool, but with the idea of some interesting plot twist along the way. Yeah.
Nice. So how big is the team then for the Famous Wolf Club?
Well, I'm going to say I'm going to incorporate my team being, I've got two designers, I've got two developers, tech developers, and some SEO, marketing, social media kind of team around it. And plus, we've got I'm going to call the DGen side, which is, we've got Goat Nasty being the head of marketing, and we've got people like KC, we've got Zan, we've got Ron Swanson out of Singapore, we got Pukuli Dukli as well, which is Wukili Dukli, sorry, she's out of Singapore as well. So we got a mod team. So we're easily talking about 10, 12 people at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, like for those that aren't so aware of the space overall, though, those are all pretty big heavyweight names that have track records and everything like that. The one thing that I would ask though is, like, given that you guys have commitments elsewhere as well, how do you manage juggling the time? Like,
Mm. Well, look, obviously we've got, like I said, you got two sides to the equation. I've got to run my business as well
yeah,
to keep things operational, and that's working fine. It's a very it's a very self-reliant, good team. I've got a good team over there. I've got a project management side here in Australia, so we've got things happening. That's always been happening. I've been running that business for 15 years now, so we've got a well-established kind of base.
yeah, yeah. A lot of
I
people we
would
can
say
rely on.
a lot of people I can rely on. Although I would say, clients are like, when I tell them what I'm doing, and they say, so that's why you're not answering your emails these days. As yes, but you'll see, it's cool, it's cool.
Yeah. Oh dear. So
Mm,
obviously, you guys have a lot of links in with Goat Tribe and especially Secret Goat Society. Does
that's
that
right.
mean we can assume that you're going to be using the SGS minting?
Absolutely. This was 100%. This was set before we even
Yeah,
started this thing.
yeah,
SGS minting is 100% what I wanted to do with this project. I am one of the founders of the SGS, by the way, with Nate. I'm not sure
yeah,
if you
yeah.
knew that, but definitely we're part of it. And not only that, the kind of um, structure we've come up with the whole minting process and the famous Wolf Club is that we are actually paying ongoing royalties to the SGS.
Right.
So as part of the whole concept, everything, royalties will flow to the SGS for the entire life of either project. So we're setting up these structures for the SGS as well to have a long life, to have a growing royalty base that it can use for funding, all the investment club related activities and stuff. So yeah, I'm very excited about that the most actually.
Yeah, I mean, for people that don't know, the SGS minting is absolutely amazing. It takes advantage of a lot of the different features of Cardano that have been, that were pretty much vaporware until SGS minting came along with using multiple addresses and their queuing system of giving people separate
Yeah,
URLs and like it is a complete package.
it is a complete package, and it was a game changer because now you see a lot more people are starting to get on board with
Yeah.
this cool technology.
So obviously, we can wax lyrical about the other stuff, but what I really want to focus on for a bit is the art.
Yep.
Absolutely stunning.
Thank
Just
you.
saying that you guys have done a great job with all that. What resolution do all these come in?
So we focused on 5,000 by 5,000 pixels,
So yeah, that's like a full 5K res then.
full 5K res, perfect for those 5K TVs that we got these days.
So knowing your guys' links with the SGS and everything like that,
Uh-huh.
I'm guessing there's going to be an awful lot of collab traits.
Well, this is going to be interesting.
Am I stepping into places where you'd rather not talk about yet?
Oh, I'd love to. I'd love to. What can we say, Casey? What can we talk about here?
Well, I mean, I think he was alluding to a little bit of goats with the collabs, but yeah, there's not much goats within these wolves. They're their own thing. But we have been discussing with other projects potentially making specialized wolves that would kind of tie those projects together and make a very special piece for whoever gets it.
That's right. Maybe I can give you a bit of a background on the what those pieces might be, Toolsin.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, so we've got this set of wolves, basically. The whole collection of wolves
yeah,
that will come. They're basically like real people. They will have their own talents in life that they're naturally good at. And the gamification of all of this process, all of these wolves will eventually lead them to become famous wolves, right? That's the whole concept around
yeah,
it, taking your standard wolf to become a famous wolf, and we will be talking a little bit more about that. But some of the wolves, which is we're aiming about 25 for the launch, for the mint. 25 of them is what we call the famous wolves. So they are already pre-famous, and they are either based on some well-known real-life celebrities throughout the world. And if you're in our Discord, you would have seen some of the ones we've released already, such as the Prince Wolf or the Teen Wolf movie Wolf, basically. Um, and few of them, we will have a special collaboration with real NFT projects in the Cardano space, and they will also have a famous wolf placement within our collection, and one of them will be announced within 24 hours, basically. So I don't want to say too much, but it will be a nice one. I think it will be a special one that everyone will recognize.
yeah. I mean, that sounds awesome. So, you were saying about the wolves becoming famous. Like, what does that involve?
Right. Well, this is where the idea, I guess, started from is how do we make it a bit more interesting to have an NFT that, not necessarily the type of gamification where you're walking around maps and metaverses and all that stuff, but more about kind of letting them join kind of events that give them a point, give them fame. basically, right? And you'll end up taking them through this journey where you'll get points for taking them in. Maybe you choose very safe kind of events that give you a small amount of points, but you don't have to worry too much, or you might take some risk. And eventually, what will happen is that by have getting to them to a certain stage, you'll be able to give your wolf a name. So that will be one of the first milestones where you'll be able to actually punch in a name to say, I want to call this wolf, the George Wolf, for example, or the ToolSin Wolf, and it will be burned to the metadata directly onto the
Oh
NFT.
wow.
So that will be forever yours. Of course, people can change it. We're not going to stop that from happening. But everything that we will end up doing will basically modify the metadata so that all that recognition is carried along till the very end, where it's a famous wolf, basically, right? And it's got all the points and all the right things, and then at that point, that famous wolf now will start participating in all the additional utilities that we got planned.
Ah, okay. So
Mm.
so so what kind of activities are going to be involved to get the different points?
Um, well, we've got uh, the plan. Of course, we're always talking about plans. That's the whole
Yeah.
idea of developing this project, is to have these staking mechanisms where you're staking your wolf into this what we call the event area, right? And it might be games that, let's say your wolf is a singer, and you say, well, I want to send my singing wolves to a concert, right? And based on that, if it's a successful concert, they'll get some fame points,
Oh, nice.
um, right? Or you might have some bad luck, and you ended up being a dud. You ended up being slapped on stage at the Oscars or something. I don't know. These things can happen.
Oh, that would be a lovely gem to throw in there.
And then you won't get any points, right? So it's kind of a gamification without necessarily having to worry too much about you actually playing or every second of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And we will probably incorporate a whole heap of Discord fun to gain extra points along the way and all this kind of stuff. So we've got a lot of ideas for that.
So if somebody goes off and does something crazy with their NFT and like put it up on like Times Square Garden, the big screens at Madison Square Gardens or something like that, crazily, like that would also get them some extra points and stuff. Yeah.
Gee, I like that idea. That's actually a great idea. Well, we were talking about some ideas around that actually, in that because really our motto was trying to be is will make you famous, right? That's
Yeah,
kind of the
yeah,
motto that we're playing with. Will make you famous. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means you as the wolf owner, but it's also the pitch that we'll be running to external parties as well, right? So let's say someone comes to us with a wanting to market something that they want to get into the space, or they're doing some digital release of something, entertainment industry or something like that. Well, our concept will make you famous is targeted at them as well. We're opening up a space for them to show themselves, right? And via that route, we'll be, they might say, hey, we want to do a special event where we're basically promoting ourselves to your members, to the famous Wolf Club, and we'll be offering bonus points based on people being part of it. So that's the kind of stuff that we're thinking
nice.
about.
So it could be like some big concert, or it could be some even a shop or a chain of shops or something like that.
Exactly. You got it.
Yeah, so some very interesting marketing and things to go on going forward. That's for sure.
That's right. Yeah. So yeah, so that's the idea. And I guess maybe you asked this quick question before about the art and quality stuff like that. Hopefully that shows with the outcomes that we're producing. I was telling this to every one of the team members, Casey, Nasty, everyone. It's like I wasn't ready to release anything if I'm not happy with it.
Yeah.
Just knowing the kind of crap that we've been hit so many times with before.
Yeah.
So I don't want to burden the chain with more crap. Basically, that's the plan. that's a, that's the core part of my plan anyway.
Yeah. So, well, I got the Ada handle NFT Cemetery for a reason. Oh,
I got
there
you.
really was some bad stuff for quite some time.
Oh yes, yes, that's right. And you can't get rid of it anymore. Really, it's not like domains where you can just let it expire. It's like these things gonna stick around.
Yeah, I mean this stuff is now going to be considered history
Yes,
and part of the development of the Cardano blockchain.
yes, that's right.
But yeah, so given market conditions and everything like that, how do you like? What made you decide to go for the 10K as opposed to what's becoming more common as being like between 4 and 7K, or between 3 and 7K really?
Honestly, I wanted to be able to build up a foundation for this project to make it last a long time, right? Now, yeah, you could have said, oh, we could have achieved that with a smaller collection. I get that, but again, I wanted to confirm to people that this is a serious project. We're not here just to stuff around. So um, I always felt that it needed that kind of volume and that kind of definitely that kind of input to make the whole development work for a long time because there is a lot to do, right? There's a lot of things that we want to achieve,
Yeah.
and that's realistically what the whole plan is all about, right? Is to make it work out for the long term, rather than oh we tried and oh it wasn't enough. Sorry, we can't continue. And there you go. You can now hold your PFP and yeah, you can be happy. It's nice, but then it's not what we wanted to achieve. You know what I mean? So, I with everything I do, as organic as it can be, if it takes a while to happen, it will happen.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. We're committed. So yeah, that's kind of why I stuck with it.
So are you feeling you're not feeling the pressure to mint out in a nanosecond? Like it's fine
No,
if it's going to take longer. Let's
correct.
say.
Correct. Look, and that was mm, if you not sure if you were around at the start of the whole goat tribe, and Casey will
Yeah.
attest to this. Everyone was like saying, "Hey, I like this, but why the heck isn't it sold out in 5 minutes, right?"
Yeah.
And then you
Oh
come back
yeah.
12 hours later, and you're like, "Hey, I still want to get more, but why isn't it sold out yet?" And every day was like that, every day. But we were there, and we just carried it, and because we just loved what we were doing, and hopefully that's the kind of feeling that we can build out with this. That we've got something here that is special. I mean, hopefully
Yeah.
that's the idea.
I mean, a great foundation was built on those non-sellout days over the course of a week or so, and a great
Yeah.
community and love for the project. So that's something that I think people don't realize sometimes when it takes a little while. And I mean, those days were fun. I enjoyed every day minting a couple and talking to everybody about them, and I really enjoyed it.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like when mints sell out that quickly, you know it's because they've attracted the flippers and they're just looking to get in and get out, and then you'll never see them again. Whereas with the longer mints, where it does sell out and takes a little bit of time, you know that each and every person in that project is committed.
100%. Exactly
Yep.
right. Yeah.
So
So
when did you guys open the Discord for the Famous Wolf Club?
this was in May. actually. We just opened last month, really. Early of last month.
Okay, so what kind of activities and things have you got going on there to keep everybody interested in building everybody's bonds?
Excuse me, sorry. Um, well, we've got obviously the opportunities to get onto the early whitelists, and that's one of the key drivers that we've been doing on a daily basis. And for that, we've got this battle games that we run, which is the automated Royal, what are they called? The Royal Rumble or the
Yeah,
Rumble
yeah, yeah.
game, right? And and with that, it kind of evolved into this cucumber lord kind of situation where if you know the game, there's people who can get killed by cucumbers, and then suddenly cucumbers became a big part of the whole environment for some weird and wacky reason. And 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 this is where the cucumber lord was born.
Yeah, I hadn't been on the Discord in a couple days because I was out of town or something, and I came back on, and everyone was talking about cucumbers, and I was very confused.
Yeah,
So
I mean that's
and so that's how that's and then we actually created now a famous cool wolf called the Cucumber Lord, and he's going to be a real life character. He's got his own Twitter, by the way,
oh
um,
what?
and you've got to follow him because he's doing some. He's always interacting with famous people in Hollywood. The kind of wannabe person that thinks he's famous, but it's really fun because we just kind of been having fun with that. But anyway, yeah. So we've got these games in Discord. We're giving away whitelists regularly. We got quizzes and stuff like that, and we release to our Discord team all the famous wolves. And as we get closer and closer to mint, it will be almost like a daily event where we're gonna say, hey, here's a new one, and here's our collab ones and all that kind of stuff. So it's ramping up.
Yeah, sorry, I'm YouTube can see me scrolling through this, but yeah, I'm just laughing at the cucumber laws stuff on Twitter right now.
Did,
It's
did you
it's
bring it up?
very worth a look if you've not seen it yet already.
Right. Cool. Awesome. Yes, there's a one way he's recommending cucumber sandwiches. Yes.
Yeah, the one with the rock is pretty sweet as well, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, we're trying to be nice, obviously. We're trying not to go too wild with these sellers because you never know, someone might catch on and say, "What the heck these guys are doing?" Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
But your question about Discord,
Yeah,
when did we open? In May,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
And and again, this was a mental hurdle for me because I wasn't happy until May. I can honestly say that it was only in April, May where I said, all right, I'm ready to launch something with these guys. I that's why it's like one of those things where you're holding on to something so dearly, so close that you like, and people say, hey, just do it. It's looking good, and that's why it's kind of we said, all right, we're ready to go, and that's when we're going basically. Yeah.
So you've got all these different games and activities and everything going on. Um, when is it you're actually going to mint?
20, well, the whitelist mint is 24th of June. I'm still trying to figure out UTC time, so it's like 11 p.m. UTC, I believe.
Okay,
So it's like
that's quite late for Europe then.
quite late for Europe. Yes,
But
yes.
but but
Unfortunately,
but but yeah, it's not terrible. It's not terrible.
it's yeah, it's like and then US kind of good for the US side. For Australia, it's like I have to wake up early for all of that again. It's same
Yeah.
as like mint my mint like my minting days, which is again here we go
Yeah.
again. I have to wake up early.
Apologies to everyone in Singapore and India and
That's right.
Philippines and just
That's
anywhere
it.
generally in Asia.
That's it. Sorry, guys. But it is well, we've got, if you're on the whitelist, you got 24 hours to mint. You don't even have to rush about it, right? Same as we do with our home minting process. So your spot is reserved, no problems. You'll get your mints, and then after that day after, the public will open again. No rush. It's all ready to go. Yeah.
Very nice.
Mm.
So, how much are you charging for these bad boys?
We've got range from the whitelist. So the whitelists do get a better deal, I guess, overall. So we're talking about starting from 65, and then the public will end up being 80.
So yeah, that's. I mean, that's pretty reasonable. That's for sure. Especially with all the ongoing plans that you have. Um,
Correct, that's right.
were you tempted to go higher at all, or how did you arrive at that price point?
Um, as I said, the idea was, how do we make this work for a good, for the short term. Like, I mean, short term for me, short term is like 2 years, right? How do I make
Yeah,
sure that this thing can fund itself for that 2 years, based on what we promised, right? That's kind of how I mapped it out. Obviously we're talking about aftermarket thereafter, and that will always be the the bonus and the benefit of making this go forward. But that's basically how we ended up. There was a few projects that really trying to push the boundaries with 158 amines. It's like, man, you've got to have something special for that.
yeah.
That's what
I
I
mean,
think.
I'm kind of starting to lean towards the fact it would be nice to have some obviously very high quality projects,
Yes,
but to have them minting at 1080A or even
right,
2080A.
right,
I don't think we should be getting so hung up on, if you're at 75 ADA, then you're a top tier project.
right.
Like I think that perception is something that needs to change in the
Maybe it
longer
was my
term.
own mental hurdle too.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean it's an interesting thing, and it's going to be very difficult to be the first on that one.
Well,
correct.
it's a balance, I think, between charging enough so you can properly fund your project and accomplish what you set out to do, and making it available to a large swath of people to so that you can have a lot of different people involved in the project. Yeah, I think it's hard to come up with prices sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, and what people easily forget is that, I mean, you said earlier you've got like 12 people on your team. That's a lot of people that have families to feed, and rent to pay and mortgage to pay, whatever. Everybody's got to earn a crust off of it, and even larger mint prices when divided 12 ways with ongoing royalties to SGS and everything like that gets
Yes.
quite expensive.
Can get quite expensive. I mean, but you're right. I mean, if you think about it now, people are willing to go and buy a chilled Kong for 2.5, a
Yeah,
clay for 3, right? It's like, it's not even batting an eyelid. Yet you're kind of, at meantime, you're kind of a bit more hesitant, right? You're like, ooh, what am I willing to pay for this, right? And but yeah, makes sense, right? It makes sense. You have to have a good balance, like Casey said, and realistically, we do not have the ETH volume just yet. That's
no,
for sure.
yeah,
Not
yeah, yeah.
yet. We will get there, but not yet.
So, you mentioned ongoing royalties to SGS and everything. Um, how what are the royalties set that people will pay when they sell their NFTs?
Um, it will be 7.5. I think 7.5%.
Okay, and then the marketplace fee on top.
Correct. Yeah, whatever they charge. That's right.
Cool.
Yes.
Uh, and obviously, a portion of those royalties are going back to SGS.
Portion of that to SGS. The rest is funding the project, obviously, and the team ongoing. Yeah.
So yeah, that's yeah, that,
And
like
oh,
the remaining are the remaining royalties going into funding the project and community ideas and stuff like that, or is it going into the overall pot to be done with
well, it
whatever?
will it will be also split with the royalties as maybe I haven't actually said it, is that the famous wolves will participate in the royalties, right? So that will be another pot that fills for just those holders, right?
Okay.
So so they will be getting royalties from the aftermarket sales, and that will come later once the whole thing is set up, once the whole structure is set up. But um, that plus the other stuff that we're doing, which we're kind of holding back a little bit in terms of releasing too much info about it. But there will be, like I said, it's really the concept is a big marketing portal for this kind of entertainment kind of industry, I guess. That's kind of what I want to say.
Okay.
And so,
So
so
there's going to be a lot of extra things. Are there going to be things that sort of like only the top, like your famous 25, only like the top 25 wolves will be able to take part and get royalties, but
eh,
are other wolves able to float in and out? For instance,
abs-
if the
absolutely,
person that
abs-
holds this particular one is very inactive versus somebody that has a slightly less rare one but is highly active with it.
well, we're still, I'm going to say, working out the exact gamification process, but the fact is that every one of these wolves will be able to get there. So every one of them will be able to become a famous wolf by 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 participating. So definitely, everyone.
Nice.
Mm. So that's
So
that's
so
that's that's the drive for you to participate in the whole system and make your full famous, basically. Yeah.
so how long do you expect that process to take from let's say somebody mints on the whitelist? How long do you think it will be before they can realistically have their wolf become famous?
Mm. Well, we in terms of the development roadmap, we're talking about the first 6 months is setting all of this up, right? So that we've got all that the naming process in place, and then the gamification starts, something like that. And I reckon, within 6 months after that or thereabouts, I reckon if I reckon you can get wolves into that spot. We also have the tier system, right? So the higher ranking, there will be like certain rank, like the top 1,000, will have a better head start. By the way, so you'll get more starting fame points compared to the the bottom 5,000, for example.
Yeah, yeah,
So again, there's some benefit of grabbing something that is a bit higher, right? And so
yeah,
you can get there faster, basically. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah,
Mm.
I mean, like all the wolves look stunning, but if you get a particularly rare one, then there are advantages.
There are advantages. That's exactly right. Yeah.
So how many different traits do you have?
I was just counting through that because I tell you what, it's so easy to create a lot of traits. It's It really is because I'm in that kind of era where I'm 80s stuff is the cool thing for me, right? It's the nostalgia for me, and that's how a lot of these traits kind of kind of ended up being alive. Like I said, you got Prince, you've got Teen Wolf, for example, right? And then you got 90s stuff, right? And you talk to some of these younger kids, and so you want to kind of make everyone happy with different traits. So you kind of end up adding more and more. So we're looking at about 200 traits, over 200 traits.
Wow.
Um, a lot of retro stuff, a lot of you know punk stuff, a lot of hip hop stuff in there. So just trying to cover every base basically.
So
And
go
yeah,
on.
go on. So yeah, I kind of we kind of had more, and I'm like, whoa, 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 no, I got to cut this out. I can't have that. That's too that's too much. Then you know what I mean? Like it's cool, but it's like you got to have a limit, otherwise it becomes too washed out. So you have to play this nice balance where you've got enough but not too much.
Yeah, I mean, a 10K collection does leave you a lot more room for a few more traits as well, because the last thing you need is everything looking similar, which they absolutely don't. Um,
Correct. Yeah. And I was thinking the same thing the other day. It's like, if I cut this out, that means I've got to have much less traits as well. And it's like, I've got a lot of cool stuff going. Have you seen like the Hulk Hogan, for example, the Wolfomaniac? Have you seen that
oh,
one?
I've not seen that one.
You got Wolf. We called it the Wolfomaniac instead of the Hulkamaniac. It just looks spectacular, right? He's got the bandana, he's got the glasses, he's got the singlet with
Yeah, found
Wolfomania
him.
on it. It's
Found him.
yeah,
Thank you, Twitter. You're
and
awesome.
awesome. And I'm gonna give you a bit of the unreleased one. We've got a Macho Man companion.
Ooh,
So so get ready for that.
definitely. Feel free to send me like a quarter of a screenshot or something so I can tease YouTube and the chat with it.
Right, right. I will do that. I will do that while we're talking.
Oh
All
dear.
right. Yep. Keep going.
So, you were kind enough to send me a little crib sheet of stuff that you wanted to touch on. I think I've got through most of it.
Think
But
so.
there was something that caught my eye that I was going to ask about anyway. Was merch, because obviously this is great hoodie fodder right here.
Yep.
When
What we,
merch? When can I
when merge?
when can I get a wolf on me hoodie? Because we all know that
Well,
wolf hoodies are the way forward.
right, right. I've just sent you that image, by the way, on our
Oh,
group chat earlier.
that's a full image, by the way.
That's a full image, by the way. Yeah, correct. So
Right. Well, here's the reveal on for YouTube first, and then
what do you think of that? Is that cool or what?
that's pretty stunning, to be honest. That's pretty
So you
flipping
can
stunning.
we had fun with that, right? Oh, and we had the community voted one, by the way. I'm not sure if you know about that one. We had Eminem, who was voted in as a famous wolf, and that was something we created purely based on what people wanted. So that's another one that made it to our list. Anyway,
Yeah,
merch.
just saying that the image is going through on NFT chat on Discord. It's a very high res image, so it's taking a second to upload.
Sorry, yes. Um, um,
There
so
you go, guys.
merch. How does that look?
Yeah, it's there in all its glory for everyone.
Beautiful, beautiful. So that's been released early. Wow. Okay. All my work.
just rejig your entire schedule now.
That's it. Basically, you just busted that one. Sorry, team.
Oh
This is
dear,
what I
love it.
mean. I'm too excited because it is. I love it. I love to see it. Right. So anyway, so in terms of merch, so on the roadmap, I was I was thinking about this when we initially set up the roadmap. Is when should that be? And there are many places where they promise that merch very early and don't deliver. And 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 the reason is because it is not only just a complex process to do a global kind of ability to do merch, efficiently, right?
Yeah,
But secondly, I kind of wanted to see what people liked, right? I kind of wanted to get this out there and people say, "Hey, I really like this. I wish this was the merch rather than what you're telling me is the merch." You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. Yeah.
I kind of wanted people to fall in love with something and it will just come naturally. It will just say, "Whoa, that's what I wish I had that." And so I deliberately timed it so that we give ourselves that breathing space where people will say, Oh, can we do that? And then we'll make it happen. That's the idea, and we'll make the popular stuff happen. We've got the brand really nice. I'm really happy with the logo and all that kind of stuff. I think that will work phenomenally. But yeah, that's and for example, I'll give you another example which kind of came out of the thing. Not that we're going to release Cucumber Lord as, as a
Please
merch.
do,
That's
please do. I mean, like, you really have to, even if it's just a pen.
if it's just a
Like,
pen.
even you have to do
Oh,
something. You have to do something.
ToolSin, you're an ideas man. I like your ideas. I love it. That's your second good idea for today. Um, I like that. But yeah, it might be. But we also have like, for example, we had the VIP group, right? And in the Royal Rumble games, right? We kind of introduced the VIP wolf, right? Which is basically he's wearing this kind of cool VIP hat. And now that's going to become a trait. And I'm thinking about it. Well, that's actually a cool cap to have just by itself.
Yeah.
It could also be part of the merch collection for all I know, right? So we'll see. But it's in the plan once things are bedded down. And I didn't want to overpromise, but it will be part of it, and that will be a huge part of the royalty program as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's important for people to know at what stage you are with these things, because everybody is promising much within a month, complete metaverse experience, AAA game, and everything within 3 months, and we
Yeah,
obviously have views about how likely these things are to happen even within 3 years.
yeah, correct. And so that's why I wanted these things to be standalone. Like I wanted these wolves to look cool. That it's good. It's okay to wait
Yeah,
rather than having to have kind of standard looking things with a game around it. I didn't want to do that. So hopefully that's a good balance that we've got right now.
yeah. I mean, like, I think it's great, to be honest. And I will be poking you for a whitelist spot later on, no doubt, probably for some of the team as well.
Sure, sure. You just gotta chat a lot. That's all. Like,
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, that's how you meet new people, and the great thing about the Cardano NFT space is the amount that everybody's willing to listen to each other and to talk and to network and to generally be helpful to each other.
absolutely.
And as much as some people say, well, I've got to get to level 10 in chat, or actually, like, talk to people. They
Yes,
A lot of NFT projects, that's what we're about. We're about talking to people. We're about making
yes,
connections and sharing common
yes,
interests, and
yes.
expanding our knowledge and everything like that. And you can't do that not talking to people.
That's exactly right. And I think a lot of people coming in from other chains don't get that. But it is one of those things where the culture is built already. It's the culture is there, and people coming in slow, fast enough, they realize what's going on, and they really fall in love with it for that same reason. I reckon because well, we are, I guess, embracing in that way. We embrace new people coming in, and hopefully that shows.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very valid thing to watch, as for the market overall, because everyone says, oh, when everyone from ETH comes over, it's like, well, the manner in which people come over from ETH actually matters a lot. Because if they all come at once, then all they're doing is they're bringing ETH over to Cardano. Whereas if
Yes,
they come in a not so much of a trickle, but a more manageable transfer, then they get they get the chance to take on some of our ideals and our values before being drowned out by everybody else.
yeah. I was thinking it's exactly like a migration into
Yeah,
like people coming into UK or to Australia. It's
yeah,
if you send the whole truckload, it's not the same as people really wanting to come over and participate. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
So
Geez,
we did.
We're getting very deep here. Is this is this normal? Is this normal for your chat?
It varies depending on who I'm chatting to.
Right,
Like, you
He
know,
just he
it's
just brings it out of people, George. He just makes them
right.
very philosophical.
Well, yes, indeed.
so we did have a not quite so philosophical question pop up in chat saying,
Uh-huh.
when donkey with wolf head?
Donkey is always with us. He's been with us for a long time, and he's always asking me this question to create a donkey with a wolf head. Thank you for asking again.
I mean, it's not a bad shout.
It's not a bad shot at all. Thanks, Donkey. It's good to have you around, man.
Right, so I mean, I've been enjoying myself so much. I'm just gonna have a quick look at the crib sheet to see if there's anything I missed.
I
um,
think I think we've got
I think
through
we've got
most of it,
most of it.
basically.
We've done
Yeah.
pretty well for my unstructured poppycock before I have to check back. But
Yes. Yes.
um, yeah, I think I've got everything on there as it goes, which I'm quite happy about.
Yes. Yes.
Anyone listening in,
Uh,
if you do have any questions or comments or anything like that, fire them into NFT chat. I am keeping a close eye on it. Um,
in, in terms of that alpha I told you about a special collab that we've got going on,
mm.
I'm gonna say that one of those profile pictures in the chat now will be one of those collabs. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, oh,
That's all I'm gonna
okay,
say.
okay.
So in the next 24 hours, you'll see
Wow,
it.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at my profile picture and I'm like, hmm. Like, you know, no. Probably would be down for the record. So, like, obviously you guys are already like really well connected and everything like that. What was there any point where you felt that that was harder to get over the hump with?
What do you mean exactly?
Was there any roadblocks in designing the art, or is there anything technically that you don't know how to do yet, but you're going to have to learn how to do, for instance, for either for the gamification or for any of the other things that you got going on?
Yeah, that's one of the gonna be the one of the big challenges that we are often discussing is the how. But I'm coming from a technical background and just kind of having a good feeling for what Cardano capable of. I have no hesitations on that front. So yes, it's a hurdle, but it's one that we can pass. So I'm very confident with that. Whatever it takes, basically. Um, I think I told you the biggest hurdle was a mental hurdle. Uh, being able to say we're ready to go. Let's do this. I think that was the biggest hurdle.
Yeah, I mean, because I mean that's the moment where you got to put it out there, and you're either going to get a yes or a no.
Correct. Exactly right.
It's quite a moment for artists and
It,
people putting stuff out
yeah,
there.
correct. Yeah, it's like and like you said, it's not just me. Excuse me, my voice. It's not just me. It's the whole group. I'm putting the whole group in front, and everyone's you know, putting their name on this, and that's one of the key parts of our team and our project that I'm so proud of everyone here that that they're willing to join me with this on this path.
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah. I mean, I've said it a couple of times, but you've done a great job. I think like the art is pretty stunning.
Thank
Like,
you.
and I know of your technical abilities from other projects as well. So it's something that'll definitely get there. And I hope that you get the time that you need to do to be able to do everything properly. Like
Yeah,
it's very interesting with roadmaps, I think, because obviously you the basics of a roadmap is that you're laying out what you want to do and how long it's likely to say. but there's always unexpected issues, um,
That's
and I think that sometimes the community expects those to be a lot more rigid than they should be.
Well, that's definitely something that you learn running a business is that it's never rigid. It's definitely not
Yeah,
rigid. I mean, it's kind of funny with a business. You kind of have your own mind, or and it's not even a roadmap sometimes, but you kind of you just organically grow and develop as new things happen. Um, the roadmap builds itself. But yeah, hopefully the that's why we've left a good balance there of space time continuum. Let's call it something cool like that. That to achieve everything we want to achieve and going forward to make it even better. Yeah.
so yeah, if there's no more questions in chat or anything like that, I think we've reached a fairly good point to consider rounding it up. Um, I have recorded this MA for YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to give it a like and a share, and even subscribe if you're feeling nice and generous on that one. Um, I'd like to thank everyone for turning up, both George and Casey, who's been a little bit quieter than I expected as it goes.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm still actually a little bit at work, so I'm trying to balance this with doing that.
multitasking all the way.
Yes.
Thanks, and really appreciate Casey for jumping in and supporting me. Like I said, I wasn't sure if my voice was going to hold out, as it was completely shattered yesterday. But thanks, man, and thanks ToolSin for hosting this. I love your style and your conversation style, and hopefully we've we've given some more clear idea of what we're doing in this space, and looking forward to making this happen.
Yeah, thank you very much. I know Casey's aware, as he said he might be able to show up, but if anyone else is interested, we're running a Discord conversation on Sunday, same time at 1900 UTC, about how to actually do your own research. So, feel free to turn up for that, maybe learn a bit, contribute to the conversation, and we enjoy having you all back again.
Awesome.
But yeah,
Thanks.
Thanks.
I'll see you on Sunday.
see you on Sunday.
Thanks, Tulsi. Thanks, everyone.
Cheerio, everyone.